This is the video notes that's going to go with our guided notes for elimination method with multiplication. So in the last lesson, we looked at the very basic types of elimination problems where we just combined our two equations and we eliminated a variable. But many times that's not an option, okay? So what we're going to do is look at what step do I need to add to the beginning of my process to help me. Okay, so and we've got 3 examples today, and we're going to work all 3 of these 2 different ways. And that is because I want you to understand there is more than one way to work any of these problems. And one way is not always necessarily better than the other. They're just different ways, okay? So on each problem, we're going to solve it by eliminating x on the first attempt. Then the second time we work it, we're going to flip it and we're going to eliminate y to start with, okay? Now I want you to see how they're similar yet different, okay? Now, if I look at example 1, and I go to put my line under here and I start to add those together, I got to go, problem. Because if I do x plus 3x, I get 4x. That did not disappear. Here I've got 3y plus 3y, which is 6y. That didn't disappear. I still would have x's and y's, and I didn't get rid of a variable. So problem. Here is the solution to that problem. You're going to think for about 5 seconds before you start, and you're going to say, hey, if I can multiply this top fraction by a number so that I can get rid of x, what would that number be? That number would be, let me see if I can squeeze it in up here, would be -3. Okay, if I could take that whole top equation and multiply it by -3, I could get rid of my x's because I'm fixing it, I'm rigging it up so that the x terms are opposites of each other. Okay, let me write this out, multiply it out, and we'll see what we're talking about. So -3 times x is -3x. -3 times 3y is 9y, equal to -3 times 7, which is -21. By the way, that shouldn't be a plus right there. That's supposed to be a what? A minus. About to mess this up. -3 times +3 is -9 or -9. Now, again, make sure that you do this like distributive property. You're going to multiply everything on that top one by -3. Okay? Now, my second equation, I'm not going to do anything with it but bring it down. Now, I want you to notice something. We typically, in the last lesson, said we put the line underneath it when we're adding it together. Sometimes the line doesn't mean just to add it together. It's used to separate your steps because you're working with more than one equation at a time. And when you get past math 1, you may be working with 3, 4, 5, more than 2 equations. So that separates your step. This line right here tells me this is my original first step. Between these 2 lines, I see my second step. Underneath right here is going to go my third step. So it's used to clarify and keep clear what goes with each step, as much as it means I'm going to combine my like terms. Now, the third step is to combine your like terms. And look right here. This is what I was talking about. We pulled out a number in thin air, come up with that number to multiply by. So these would be opposites of each other. So -3x plus 3x cancels out, that's 0. -9y plus 3y, that's -6y, equal to, now right here, Negative 21 plus 9, that's negative 12. Okay, now if I divide by the negative 6, I get y equal to positive 2. So now I know what y is, and I'm just going to do this because I just want to make sure I keep things separated enough I can tell what's what. Over here for the second part, I'm going to find x. I can start the second half of the process with either the first or second equation. Since I'm solving for x, I'm going to grab the first one because it just says plain old x, not 2x, 5x, 20,000x, it's just x. Okay, so I'm going to jot that down. X plus 3y equals 7. Now I'm going to substitute the 2 in place of my y. So what I have here is x plus 3 times 2 equal to 7. Well, that means x plus 6 is equal to 7, and x would equal to 1. So what is my ordered pair answer? 1, 2. Okay. So if I wanted to eliminate x in my first part, this is a perfect way to do it. But now, you know what? I don't have to eliminate x to start with. I could actually eliminate y. So we're going to rework this problem from the beginning. And this time, let's get rid of the y. Okay, just to see that there's a different way to do it. And we're still going to get the same answer. Okay, so over here, I'm going to start with my equation again. X plus 3y equal to 7. And 3x plus 3y equal to 9. Okay, now if I focus on my y's, I notice they are exactly the same, but I need one of them to be a plus and I need one of them to be a minus. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here and I'm going to multiply this top equation by negative 1. Now, you know what? I could have multiplied either of them by negative 1. I just need to multiply by negative 1 because you've learned in the past, multiplying by negative 1 does nothing but change the sign. Okay? Now, put my line right here. Let's do a distributive property. So I've got negative 1x minus 3y, because I'm just multiplying by negative 1, is equal to negative 7. Okay? Now, bring down my second equation at 3x plus 3y equal to 9. Okay, so what was next? Oh yeah, put my line under here and let's combine. Negative 1x plus 3x is 2x. Minus 3y plus 3y, that's 0, cancels out. Negative 7 plus 9 is 2. When I divide, I get x equal to 1. Well, wow, wait, that's what we got over here. And we said we'd get the same answer because we're solving the same problem. We're just doing it a different way. Okay? So we've shown this way how to get x equal to 1. Now, let's go to let's find the y. Again, I can use either equation, but I'm going to grab this first one. Okay? And I'm going to replace the x with the 1. So 1 plus 3y equals 7. If you subtract that 1, you've got 3y equal to 6. Divide it, you got y equal to 2. Even this method tells me my answer is 1, 2. Okay, pause, finish copying down the 2 ways to work number 1, and then we'll go to number 2. Now, number 2, I picked because I don't see any plain x's or y's like I did in the first one. I also picked this one because if you look at the 15 and the 5, 15 is a multiple of 5, And even right here, 10 and 2 on the y's, the 10 is a multiple of the 2. So that's going to help me in the solving part. Now, remember this first one, we're going to eliminate x, and this one, we're going to eliminate y. Okay, so let's just start looking at what we can do with the x. Okay, I know I can't straight combine them because 15 plus 5 is 20. 10 minus 2 is 8. I don't cancel anything out. But what I do notice is I could take this one, second equation, and if I multiply it by 3, I would have 3 times 5, which is 15, which is the same as this one up here with the 15. But I need them to be opposites. So what I'm going to do is throw a negative right there. Okay, so on the first one, I'm going to have positive 15x, and on the second one, I'm going to have negative 15x. So you want the number part to be the same, but you want the signs to be opposite. Okay, so let's show this work right here. So I'm going to have 15x plus 10y equal to negative 4. Multiply that second equation, everything by negative 3. So that's negative 15x. Now negative 3 times negative 2, that's positive y. Negative 3 times that 4 is going to give me negative 12. Now that my x's coefficients are opposites, I can combine and eliminate. 15x minus 15x is 0. 10y plus 6y is 16y. Negative 4 minus 12 is negative 16. And if I divide, I get y is equal to 1. Okay? And again, I'm just going to, you don't have to do this little yellowish line I'm putting in there. That's for me because I'm writing so big, I always run out of room if I don't manage my space for myself. Now, I need to find x. I can use either equation to find x. I'm going to grab the second one only because all the numbers in it are single digits and not double digits. So those math facts I have in my head a little bit better. So I'm going to grab 5x minus 2y equal to 4. And I'm going to replace the y with a 1. So I'm going to have 5x minus 2 times 1 equal to 4. So that's 5x minus 2 equal to 4. And then that's going to give me 5x equal to 6. And that makes x equal to 6 over 5. And I think I made a mistake. Let's find my mistake. 5 minus 2y, so, oh, look right here. That's supposed to be a what right there? That's supposed to be a negative 1 because it's negative 16 divided by 16, which is negative 1. So then that's a negative 1, and then that becomes a plus 2. Okay, so right here what I'm going to have is 4 minus 2, which is 2. So that's going to be, let me just mark that out. Even real math geeks like me can make mistakes. So that's going to be 2 over 5. Okay. So my ordered pair here is 2 over 5 and negative 1. And there we go. Now, pause it, copy it, and then we're going to eliminate y. So now, if I want to eliminate y, the first thing I'm going to do is start with my system, 15x plus 10y equal to negative 4, 5x minus 2y equal to 4. Now, I want to eliminate the y in this one. So what can I multiply 2 by to get 10? Oh, that's 5, okay? Now, does it need to be positive or negative? Positive works perfect because notice my signs right here. Aren't they already opposites? One's plus, one's minus. Okay. If the signs were exactly the same, I would have made that a negative number like I did right here in the first method. Okay. Now, oh, so much to remember. So 15x plus 10y equal to negative 4. Let's multiply everything in the bottom equation by 5. So that's 25x minus 10y equal to 20. Okay, just double check. Yep, those are opposites. So let's combine our like terms. 15x plus 25x is 40x. The 10y minus 10y is 0, cancels out. Negative 4 plus 20 is 16. That means I've got x equal to 16 over 40. Okay, now I'm not through that because 16 over 40 is simplifiable. Okay, because 16 and 40 are both multiples of 8. That means 16 divided by 8 is 2. 4 divided by 8 is 5. So x is 2/5. Okay, and if you remember what we did here, 8 is the greatest common factor, so we divide them both by 8 to simplify our fraction. Now, I want to find y. Okay, so I'm still going to stick with that second equation only because the numbers are smaller. So I'm going to start with the 5x minus 2y equal to 4. Okay, I'm going to replace x with 2/5. So 5 times 2/5 minus 2y equal to 4. Well, 5 times 2/5, you're multiplying by 5, dividing by 5, so that's just a 2 minus 2y equal to 4. If I subtract the 2, I got negative 2y equal to 4 minus 2, which is 2. If I divide, I get negative 1. So I still have the answer 2/5 and negative 1. Okay. Now, pause your video, copy any of this down that you haven't gotten already, then restart and let's do example 3. Now, example 3 is the granddaddy of all of them, okay? If I look at my coefficients on x's, I notice the larger coefficient is not a multiple of the smaller one. 5 is not a multiple of 4. Well, it's the same deal with the y's. 5 is not a multiple of 2. So what's going to happen in this one is I'm going to have to multiply both equations. Okay, I'm going to have to multiply both equations to kind of rig it up so that I can eliminate a variable. Now, what in the world do I mean about that? Well, here's the quick, easy way to do it. Let's talk about eliminating x first. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flip-flop those coefficients. So I would multiply the top one by 5, since that's the 5 coefficient on the bottom. I'd multiply the bottom one by 4, since 4 is the top coefficient. Why does that work? Because what am I going to get? 5 times 4, 4 times 5, they're both going to give me 20. Now, I do need for one of those to be negative because they got to be opposites of each other. So I'm just going to stick a negative sign right there. The only reason I put it on the bottom one because I had room to write it. All right, now our next step is to multiply. So multiplying the top equation by 5, I've got 20x plus 25y equal to 15. On the bottom equation, I've got negative 20x minus 8y equal to negative 32. Now, if I combine those together, 20x minus 20x, that is 0. 25y minus 8y is going to give me 17y. 15 minus 32 is going to give me negative 17. If I divide, I get y is equal to negative 1. Now I need to find x next. So I can pick either equation, and I'm going to be honest with you. In this particular case, neither equation is going to be easier really for me or for you than the other one. So I'm just going to grab the first one. Okay, now I don't have enough, I'm struggling for room right here, so I'm going to do the second part right here underneath. Like a separation line right there. And I'm going to come down with 4x plus 5y equal to 3. And I'm going to replace the y with negative 1. So 4x plus 5 times negative 1 equal to 3. That's going to give me 4x minus 5 equal to 3. And I'm talking fast through this because we know this part. 4x is equal to 8. And then that makes x equal to 2. So my ordered pair here is 2, negative 1. Okay. Now, pause it. Make sure you've got that copied down. And then let's go do our last method for this one, which is eliminate the y. Okay. So I'm just going to restart right here by writing my system. 4x plus 5y equal to 3. 5x plus 2y equal to 8. Now, I'm going to pull the same little trick that I did on the other one. I want to eliminate here the y, okay? I just circled that so it doesn't get confused as being part of one of the variables over here, okay? So I want to eliminate the y. My coefficients are 5 and 2, so I'm going to flip-flop. I'm going to multiply the top by 2, the bottom by 5. Again, my signs here are the same, and I need for one of them to be the opposite. So I'm just going to slap a negative on one of them. I had room to write it on the second one, so I put it on the second one. Okay, could have just as easily done negative 2 and positive 5. Okay, now let's multiply. Multiply the top by 2. So 8x plus 10y equal to 6. Multiply the bottom by negative 5. So I've got negative 25x minus 10y equal to negative 40. If I combine 8x minus 25x, that is negative 17x. 10y minus 10y is 0. Equal to 6 minus 40 is negative 34. When I divide here, I get x equal to 2. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is find the y. I can use either equation. I'm just going to grab my first one. 4x plus 5y equal to 3. Now let's substitute 2 in for x. 4 times 2 plus 5y equal to 3. Now again, this is solving, so this is easy. 8 plus 5y equal to 3. 5y is equal to negative 5, and y is equal to negative 1. Let me slide that down so you can see it. So that means my ordered pair, again, is going to be 2, negative 1, and I'm done. Okay, so go ahead, guys. Get this copied down, put these notes into your interactive notebook, and you can go to Canvas and find your assignment to work on.